Today is May 2nd, 2013. It's 8 o'clock p.m. I had a police here earlier, and I really should have brought this up to while they were here, but I didn't. So I'm going to, because it's within 30 days of the incident. Hey.
Office of Unified Communications, DC 911, operator 8021. Hello, police, fire, ambulance.
Yes, hi, operator 8021. I'm calling because for the police. Earlier this month, I had a situation where I called the ambulance. I have Alert 1, and they called the ambulance for me in my house. I have that intercom service, and they called the police. I want the ambulance, and I wanted them not to take me to UMC. And I told the people on Alert 1 to tell them, and she said she couldn't control what happened. And so I know she can't, I figure she can't control it. But when they came here, I told them, you know, I'm not going to UMC. You need to take me somewhere else. I have stroke-like symptoms. They don't have at UMC what they need to have, and they and in particular they told me not to go there because they don't have that, and go somewhere else where they have stroke. You know, they have what they need to handle a stroke, like GW. So I told him that. He had said, yeah, it's a stroke, but it's not. But I had symptoms that were very stroke-like because it was all on one side of my body. My left eye. I couldn't see through it properly. I was like, you know, it was like I could see, but there was like a white dot in the middle, you know, like a white blotch, and my left leg got numb, and so it was all on one side. So that is unilateral is stroke, more likely stroke symptoms than bilateral when you have a problem on both sides, but it could be also stroke symptoms if you have it on both sides too, but I had it only on one side. And they told him, the Alert 1 told him that you know, what my symptoms were, so he knew it. So I don't know what he was talking about. It is, but it isn't. You know, it was like almost he had already decided there wasn't going to be stroke symptom. But in any event, I told him I don't want to go to UMC. Next thing I know, he doesn't tell me he's taking me there anyway. He takes me downstairs, get in. They take me to UMC. When I get there, I realize I'm at UMC. I told them, you had no right to take me here. I asked to be taken somewhere other than here specifically because they don't have what I need for them to do for me.
Okay, so what are you trying to do? Are you trying to make a complaint against the ambulance driver?
Yeah, I want to make a complaint. In my mind, that's kidnapping because, and I said it when I got there. There was a police officer. I told him that. I said,
okay, so hold on one second. I'm going to transfer you over to the fire department supervisor, okay?
Okay.
So hold on one second. Hello, ma'am?
yes.
Go ahead. You've been transported over to the fire department liaison person, so you can talk to them. Go ahead.
Okay. Hello?
Good afternoon, ma'am. How can I help you? Lieutenant Rogers.
Lieutenant Rogers, I was calling the police because this is something I've been trying to deal with the fire, not the fire, the EMS people, and the answers I've gotten have been, you know, kind of like dragging the feet kind of thing. So, long story short, but in any event, I had a problem. I called on April 1st In the wee hours of the morning, I called my alert one to have them bring an ambulance. I said I had stroke-like symptoms. They were my left eye. I could see, but there was a white blotch right in the middle. Like I could see the surrounding around the blotch, and I could see, and my left leg got numb. Which is, that's unilateral. That's likely a stroke symptom more than something else. Okay, so in any event, I called and I told them what the what my symptoms were, and I told them I don't want to be taken to UMC. I had just been on the phone with UMC, and they told me there not to come there because they don't have what they need for stroke issues. And I had been there just a couple of days before. I already knew that.
Address, ma'am.
Huh?
What is your address? Where did we pick you up from?
My at home, 3304 6th Street Southeast, apartment 304.
Okay. And that's really close to Greater Southeast.
Yes, I know it's close to Greater Southeast, but it doesn't do me any good if they bring me there and then they can't treat me. So anyway, the people on alert one.
Hey, can I say this for 1 second, not to cut you off? Were you diagnosed as having a stroke that particular day?
I'm sorry?
Were you diagnosed when you went to the hospital as having a stroke that particular day?
Why are you asking me that?
Because that's the reason why I asked you that is because if you didn't have any symptoms of having a stroke, then hospital, Greater Southeast UMC would have been a better hospital, which is closer, and they can treat you.
Listen, no, they weren't a better hospital. Okay, number one, the ambulance doesn't take you to the hospital depending on what your symptoms, your diagnosis is gonna be. They do it based on your symptoms when you call. They don't know what your diagnosis is gonna be. Or
exactly.
Exactly.
Right. Well,
those were the symptoms I complained about.
One second, man. What's your last name?
Agolli, Agolli. I complained about one-sided, unilateral, my left leg turning numb after my right eye had some kind of, some degree of blindness, or I don't know what you would call it, but I couldn't see through the eye. So that doesn't sound like something else to me. It sounds like a stroke symptom.
Well, not necessarily. You're speaking to a paramedic as well, ma'am. So if that day when you went to the hospital, I see that you're out now. Did they diagnose you as having a stroke?
No, they didn't, because I left that hospital and I didn't stay there. He took me there, and he took me there against my will because I told him specifically not to take me there.
Well, it's not up to them, ma'am. It's really up.
It's not up to them. It's up to them to open his mouth and tell me we're going to have to take you to UMC because that's where they're telling us to take you. And this way I can say, I'm not going.
You have a point there.
Yeah, because then it's no longer a voluntary thing. I'm not under arrest, am I, for having a stroke symptom, am I? If he's taking me to UMC, and I already told him, don't take me to UMC, and he takes me there, he's kidnapped me. That's my that's the issue I'm bringing up.
I don't think he kidnapped you.
No.
So what is your complaint? That you went to a hospital that you didn't want to go to. Is that your complaint there?
I was taken to, well, he better not charge me for it. Excuse me.
Issue, okay? That's another issue. But so your complaint is they took you to a hospital that you didn't really want to go to.
They took me to a hospital that I didn't want to go to.
Complaint.
I told them in advance.
But it's not their fault. Let's get it this way. It's not their fault. It's up to that supervisor.
It's up to the supervisor to tell them where to take me. It's not up to him to decide I'm going anyway, even though I said I don't want to go.
Yeah, we actually tell them where to go.
Yeah, that's fine. I understand that. But when he knows where he's going, because he knew it when he came here, where he was going.
I see. So
okay.
They didn't really tell you, say, hey, look, we going here. They just put you in the ambulance.
Right. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a complaint, because if he told me in advance and I said, okay, I'll come, what can I do? That would be different.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Now I got the picture. So we tell them where to go. Then they put you in the ambulance. By the time they're driving down the street, it's like, where are we going? We're going to Greater Southeast. What you should have told me before, and I would have said no.
Right.
That's the story I'm getting.
Yeah, when I got there, that's when I told him that, because I told him beforehand, because I told him that I had spoken to Southeast before calling the ambulance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And they told me not to go there.
They told you not to go there.
Right. They told me go somewhere else, like GW, because if you're having, it sounds to me like your symptoms are neurological and you need to go to a place that has what you need to treat you.
Okay, let's get down to let me do some research. What's your address so I can talk to the gentlemen or one of ladies that did this that particular day and
Butler.
make sure this will never happen again.
His name is Butler. It's not just that he never happened again, because the people in Southeast, you're over only the ambulance worker, right? You're not. You don't have any control over the hospital or what they do.
No.
Okay, so if they did something abhorrent when I got there and beforehand, you're not the person to tell.
Who would you? That's it. They would tell me.
Okay, if the people at the hospital behaved
Badly?
in a manner that I would think is probably very illegal, okay? If they did something that was very illegal, or they did something that was so untoward and alarming that you have to wonder if it's illegal, you are not the person I would tell.
No,
Correct? Who would I tell?
The hospital administrator, ma'am.
The hospital administrator. The hospital administrator put.
The hospital administrator or the arts nurse or it's many supervisors before you get to that administrator. I don't know their policy, but
okay.
Head nurse first.
Okay. All right, but it's not you, so I'm not going to tell you what happened with the hospital. But I'll tell you this: they told me not to go there.
Okay.
Okay.
So I got to close it up real quickly because we're real busy. And
I understand. I didn't ask to talk to you. I wanted a police officer to come in here and take a report because he kidnapped me. He knew I didn't want to go there, and he took me there.
You said the ambulance kidnapped you?
Isn't that kidnap when you physically take somebody against their will?
Well, let's put it this way. No,
Okay.
They didn't kidnap you.
No.
You volunteered, walked in the house. You kind of walked in the ambulance, right, on your own, right?
Because I thought I wasn't going to UMC. If I had known I was going to UMC, I wasn't going to go.
They didn't kidnap you. You kind of like went in the ambulance on your own.
Come on.
By the way,
come on.
Let me get your name and number, okay? So I can do a follow-up. What's your number?
I've already had people do follow-ups there.
Now,
Okay.
I'm going to close this conversation with have a good day, okay?